All right, well, thank you so much, gentlemen, and welcome back. It's a pleasure to be here for the North American portion of Overwatch Contenders Season 1, Goldenboy and Mr. X. And, you know, I have to agree with the desk, man. On paper, you got to go with Rogue.
Yeah, I would as well. I think Rogue, obviously, the stronger team of the two. I know Renegades, they didn't win a map last week. Looking at their roster, they will be playing with Jesus this week instead of Retzi, so that change comes on back through. Retzi, a sub for this team, but played in their first match, so maybe they're just trying to get on a good pacing with one of these players, see which one they want to go with the rest of the season. Yeah. Now we'll see how Jesus goes for them today.
Yeah, both teams losing out last week, in desperate need of a win here. And for Renegades, I mean, it wasn't the most elegant of defeats. They were able to answer back. They did lose 3 games in that one, and Rogue was, I mean, across the board, it just wasn't elegant, right? Let's just like stop being around the bush here. First map is going to be Nepal as we get ready for this one. Yeah, I mean, I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that for Rogue, they're a team that shouldn't necessarily be in this position, and for Renegades, they just want to be able to come out here with the upset.
Yeah, and I think Rogue just had a rough week last week, right? I mean, their triple DPS just wasn't on point. They weren't able to get anybody playing the D.Va consistently. You'll see Nico and AKM switch off on the role. I believe if you look at some of the stats, Nico was very effective on the D.Va, but then you lose his Genji play. And I think on the other side, for Renegades, it's, you use Mangachu in all these different roles. We've seen him play Junkrat, D.Va, Hanzo, so many different heroes. But I feel like, agreeing with Sideshow, it almost comes off a little bit like gimmicky, right? They're just trying to find a way to throw their opponent off. You need to get a playstyle you're going to be able to rattle off wins consistently.
Well, now we're going to see 2 very different compositions heading into this one, courtesy of the Zarya and Ryan for Renegades, and then you're going to have the D.Va and Winston. So some dive on Rogue's side. Let's see how they're going to engage on this, because Renegades are going to want to be able to bait Rogue into them here.
Yeah, and we'll see how the shot calling changes for Rogue this week as well. Obviously, you'll have Nox on the Lucio. See if he can make some better calls, because last week a big problem with Rogue is their supports would die right off the bat. See, Zachary's going to get a D-Mech there on Nico as Renegades going to get towards this top hill bridge area. They're going to try and control that high ground.
Yeah, they did that expertly. They played right into their hand. And the Renegades, I got to give them a lot of credit there. That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to be able to contest them, right onto the bridge and establish control with Primaduce on the Reinhardt. And they've been able to win these early engagements every single time. And losing Colsey early in this fight is going to force them back into the spawn area. Now Rogue's going to be playing from the back foot.
Well, they're not able to push for that bridge positioning because you lose the D.Va with the defense matrix right away. So you can't go forward with your Winston, and then here at the beginning of the second fight, you lose your Winston Colsey right off the bat. So see how Rogue try and take this point back. You see how aggressive Renegades is being here. Yeah. With the Graviton Surge comes in from behind from Mangachu. Such a great play there. Zachary with one, Mangachu with another. It's going to force Rogue all the way back. It looked like Rogue was trying to go around that right side, force Renegades off of that high ground area positioning on the left by that mega health pack on the bridge. And then Renegades just brought the fight right to them. They led through the front with Primo Dolce and the Reinhardt. That gave Rogue a lot of attention, right? They were putting so much attention on the Rhine that you saw Mangachu come from the backside, land a great Graviton.
Brilliant split push there. And so far, this has been all Renegades as we near the 60 percentile for Renegades. And a big pulse spot, perhaps, that's actually going to be pretty good. They do manage to take out Sherlocky, who did have the Transcendence. So maybe you can see Rogue begin to make this engagement work in their favor. But it is hurting quite a bit because they're losing players left, right, and center. And despite the pulse bomb, it just could not get the follow-up here. You're going to have a desperation play here, and also just a good hold, I should say, from Jur, just to continue to get that point, accrue the percentage.
Yeah, well, this is huge. I mean, at the beginning of the fight, you saw Rogue get the advantage, but Jur has done a fantastic job just staying on the point as the Lucio. That's allowed Sherlocky to come off the spawn, get a good use of that Transcendence, and Rogue is actually not able to get the point there. That is a fabulous play there by Renegades.
Very well done by Detroit Renegades. They maintain control, and they're at 97% here. This is it. They have to engage right now, X. They have no choice. Overtime's going to be in effect, and you're going to have the sound barrier go in, but Colsey's going to get booped, and they're going to lose that tank and the support early on in this fight, and that could potentially hurt them. Primo Dulce, he's going to move in with that Earth Shatter, but you always got to count on the DPS control here from Rogue. When one falls, they always pick up the slack, and they were able to rally the troops here, but they have to get on the point, and I don't think they're going to be able to do so, because now you're going to have the 76 working alongside with this Zenyatta. They're going to try and see if they can babysit one another and hold this one off as long as they can for their teammates to jump back in.
Yeah, you do have reinforcements coming off the spawn here for Renegades. They will be able to win that fight. And for a second there, you saw Soon and Nico. They were on the point alone for Rogue. Nico had the Dragon Blade. He's able to pick up 2. But I believe it was Jesus with Sherlocky there on the point for Renegades. And just without that tank and the 76 able to put down so much damage, you have no supports alive for Rogue. They're coming off of the spawn. You just were not able to get back to the point fast enough. Renegades beat them there to it. As Renegades, they'll take point number 1. And something a bit interesting note there, Goldenboy. You know, the first 2 or 3 fights, Rogue was not able to really kind of get any positioning coming out of the spawn. Immediately you see Nico go off of the D.Va back to the Genji. Right here at the start of this game, it looks like they'll switch him back to the D.Va. So it'll be interesting how long they stick with the D.Va. If it doesn't work, maybe they go back to their triple DPS comps.
One has to wonder, you know, as good as Rogue is, have they hit their limit? I don't want to be the one to say that. And now you're going to have Mangachu, one of the best Pharahs in the game right now, working with Sherlocky. And you basically have to punish this Pharah in the air. You can't let him get the free farm the way that they're doing. And they were able to take out Unko as well. And they lose out the tank in that exchange. But they're still going to have Pharah raining terror down below and really disorienting this team.
Yeah, now you're going to force Nico to use that defense matrix, eat up a lot of these shots from Mangachu, but doesn't look like Renegades able to get any kind of positioning here. You see the engagements going over towards Rogue. Now down by the point, and that's going to force Mangachu all the way down. He's able to get one here, just trying to stay alive. The big play by Mangachu as you see members from Rogue on the point. It's going to be a few kills from Colsey. Mangachu will have to back up. It'll be Rogue getting control of the point here first.
Yeah, I have to say that was, you know, despite Mangachu being able to stay alive the way that he was able to do so there and apply the appropriate amounts of pressure onto the 76 when, you know, 76 realistically should be the one taking out the Pharah there. You got to give the credit where credit is due to Rogue because they were still able to maintain control, maintain composure, be able to cap that point. Let's see here. As Village Battle rages on, and Jesus is able to take out the 76. It's going to be a lot of damage that they're losing out on. There goes the pulse bomb, and it is going to knock out Nico from the D.Va. And this is going to be all Renegades here as they advance forward, and they will be able to secure this one. Very well done engagement from them. You have Soon looking to delay as much as they possibly can to get more percentage, but that is going to be a flip for Renegades.
Yeah, it's a big fight win there because Rogue invested a sound barrier into that. Now for Renegades, you have both your support ults here. You have a rocket barrage from Mangachu. We'll see how Rogue goes about taking this back. Nico going to have to lead with the defense matrix here, get his teammates out through the choke point. You see it there via the X-ray, but he's leaving a lot of his teammates over towards that top side. You see where Mangachu's forcing a lot of those rockets.
Man,
and this is the same thing we saw from Rogue last week, where their supports just end up dropping at the beginning of these fights. They just don't do a good enough job, you know, in terms of positioning, you know, having your D.Va around the supports. Your D.Va's kind of guiding, you know, your Winston in, and then you just let your Zenyatta just over on that top side just die for free, pretty much. Can't allow that to happen.
Makes that push very difficult to take place.
Impossible.
Yeah, Rogue is not in the best of positions here, or they weren't in the best of positions in that fight. Now they're going to have that transcendence, but it's all about how they use these ults coming into it. They're going to have AKM pop that visor immediately, and then they're going to get the transcendence to be able to protect inside of the point. And now the fight is going to ensue as Renegades have managed to take out the support as well as Mangachu has been causing a lot of trouble in the air at this very moment. This looks good, but Sherlocky comes in with the Mega Res, and that's looking to bring them right back into the fight, and that is huge. That is why you want Mercy in the game there. That was absolutely insane. They maintained control, and that is a momentum shift for Renegades.
That is a 5-man res there for Renegades. We'll take a look at it one more time. Sherlocky being a sneaky beaver up here. Yep, we've all had this happen to us before. You can imagine the frustration on the side of Rogue. And they invest so many ultimates into that fight, Goldenboy, that now Jesus able to take out Unko off the rip here. You may not even see Rogue make it back towards the point. They actually get 3 players there going around that outside. But now they have 2 members dropping here at the beginning. It's going to be a 6-on-4 right away.
Self-destruct is able to take out Jur there, and now Rogue starting to, you know, try and rally the troops back in here, but you're going to have Renegades just swarming the point. Nico won't be able to stay alive, and this is going to be overtime, and this will be going to Renegades as they are able to secure themselves 2 points. And my goodness, what is going on right now?
It's a big map number 1 win there for Renegades. It's their first map win overall. Obviously, they get 4-0'd. And Sherlocky with the Mercy play of the game. I've seen my fiance do this numerous times. Everybody dies on the point. She's hiding somewhere obscure on the map. Flies right in. Sherlocky, I bet you, he watched the developer update with Jeff, where Jeff is talking about the Mercy changes. And Jeff is like, well, you know, they Mercies right now, they kind of hide. And Sherlocky's like, that's a great idea. Maybe I'll do that too. But usually in a competitive game like this, you know, at the pro level, you don't see like huge
because usually you're going to get tempo reses, right? When you get those like slow reses, the big reses that come through, like that's few and far between. But I have to say, like, surely they knew that the Mercy was lingering by. I'm a little shocked that they didn't try and prioritize the Mercy first, or maybe just Sherlock, he was just like in the corner the whole time. I don't know.
He was up there just hiding.
Guys, die on the point, die on the point.
Well, we saw at the beginning of the fight, Rogue actually leads in with the Transcendence to force the action on the point. I believe they had a self-destruct as well during that. And then I know Mangachu's not able to get anything with the Rocket Barrage because he's trying to shoot it down in towards the point, and you just have the defense matrix kind of eating it all up. So Rogue got what they wanted there, forcing the fight on the point. Sherlocky, though, I mean, probably tells his teammates, hey, if they're going to want to fight on the point, let's just all die on the point. I'll come in, let them burn all their ults, res. It's a big map 1 win there for Renegades.
Huge, as a matter of fact, because Rogue still that's 4 losses in a row here. You know, they won that first control match on Li Zhang against Envision, and since then, they haven't been able to rally the troops and get back into it. One could say it's, you know, probably, you know, the synergy with Colsey. Maybe they're having a hard time, you know, working together here. Maybe Nox going into the Lucio role, right? Hasn't done that in a little while. Like, I don't know. There's a variety of reasons why this could be the case.
Yeah, I think it's really for Rogues just nailing down who's going to be that Diva player and really getting them a ton of practice on the Diva. You know, it looked like it was Nico there in map number 1. I know he was more effective in week number 1 on the Diva as opposed to AKM. And then it's really just about getting him in position to protect the supports. I really think that's where they've kind of faltered as a team is, you know, they've done such an excellent job pushing up, getting the kills, right? But then, I mean, they don't have their supports alive, so you can't sustain. I mean, if the fights go on long, the other team's going to come out on top.
Yeah.
When you see Rogue at their best, it's when they're able to win those fights quick. You know, where you don't give the other team like a fighting chance, and you don't let them disengage, get further back, stay alive for a long time. It's really, you know, when Rogue uses that firepower, gets in, win those first set of engagements, that's when you see them at their best. When the fights linger on, that's when they start to falter.
Now we take a look at the compositions here for Renegades on the defense in Numbani, second map in this series here. And Sherlocky going to be using the Ana. So what they're really looking for here is to just be able, I think they're gambling on Rogue diving into them, and the Ana Biotic Nade is there for the sustain in those fights. So this is going to be interesting. Let's see how this one plays out. You got pretty much mirrors on each side, save for the Ana instead of the Zenyatta on the Renegades portion.
Yeah, and it looks like Rogue moving up the street here at the beginning. You see Soon trying to go on a little bit of a flank. See what kind of positioning he can get. Knows there's at least 2 players above him. But you see his teammates, they push all the way onto the point. So a lot of times you see them jump up to the top of the bridge, try and get that high ground advantage. This time they go straight to the point. They want Renegades to bring the fight to them.
It seems like Rogue, they ended up losing Nico there, so that's certainly going to hurt them because that defense matrix is so vital. But look for Soon to be able to be a nuisance in the back line and force the other players to have to turn around. They end up losing 3, and this is going to be Rogue gaining considerable amount of progress, and they make the cap happen, and that was actually very well executed on Rogue's side.
Well, look, it's just like we were talking about. When they get those first 2 or 3 engagements to go their way, they're able to snowball those fights so quick. It's when Soon picks up one on a flank and then somebody gets traded out in the front on the other side, and they're able to extend these fights a little bit longer. That's when you see Rogue get in trouble. See, Nico, he will get his mech back here on the Diva. You know, no ults from either team here, you know, coming up soon. So should be another fight where you may see Rogue just trying to dive in deep, gain some more space here in this street space.
They're certainly going to want to be able to take the fight here as well because of these narrow streets. Certainly could play out to their advantage if they're not careful.
Well, you do have Sherlocky getting the nano boost, and the nano boost going to come in onto Winston here. Primo Dolce trying to get in there, and he's actually going to back all the way up, so they just force Rogue back a little bit. We'll see if Renegades can hold this position. Quite odd to use the nano boost and kind of not go in, trying to at least pick up one, because they really didn't gain much space. I mean, they send Primo Dolce in with the nano boost. They don't really gain anything for it. Here's going to come the Transcendence in for Rogue and the Tac Visor as well.
able to pick up 2 kills there on the support and the tank. And this is looking fantastic for Rogue here, as Renegades took the fight to the Frenchmen, but the Frenchmen were able to overcome. And now they're getting some more progress. And because the way that fight progressed and where it took place, they are that much closer to be able to get in that second point here. But it seems like we are going to have a pause.
Yeah.
So see what happens.
And if I were to be a betting man or guessing, I would assume it's somebody on the side of Renegades, just from the fact that you had Primo Dolce, he got the nano boost, he dove in on the Winston, and then immediately, like, gets out. Like, I mean, he had no teammate support there. It's either a misplay or somebody just has some kind of issues where they're just not in control of their player, couldn't actually dive in there with him and get a good team fight. Because, I mean, imagine you have an issue when you dive in there, everybody's dead. Then you're in a worse position than you were in. So we'll get figured out with what goes on here, and we'll get right back into game.
Actually, I saw on the side, I think it was Zachary who said he ended up having some kind of mouse issue there.
So that makes sense.
We're getting back into the action, though, folks, so do not fret, as the game has started yet again, and that is going to be the second point gain for Rogue. And realistically, Renegades weren't going to be able to contest that anyway. They died so late on the progression of the payload there that ended up working out.
Yeah,
anyway.
Renegades does have a ton of ults here, though. They have Attack Visor, they have Primal Rage, Sound Barrier as well, the magnitude of the self-destruct. So maybe we see they try and get aggressive here, force Rogue to go back onto the opposite side of the underpass, but soon in this flanking position, trying to put pressure on the supports here. There you see the Sound Barrier coming in from Renegades, and the push come on through.
Dueling sound barriers for both teams here as AKM marches through with his gun in hand. But the Attack Visor will go off for Zachary. And Jur once again dying, and they've been losing their support so early in these fights. It certainly has been hurting them, and has just allowed Rogue to be able to progress further and further and further. Jesus is able to get actually 2 with the pulse bomb. They're able to demech and take out AKM on 76, was doing a considerable amount of work here. But there you have Soon. One thing I enjoy about Soon is, like, even if it's a losing fight, Soon still manages to find something.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, he's going to be forced to back all the way out there. And what you saw Rogue do was, as soon as Zachary used the Attack Visor, Nico actually launched his self-destruct and actually forced him into that side staircase. So they weren't able to get anything with their Attack Visor, but we'll see Rogue get back onto the point here. They make an adjustment here. Soon will go over to the Doomfist. You have Nico going to run the Zarya, and then you'll have Colty switch over to the Reinhardt. So we see a lot of the Zarya-Reinhardt combo with the Doomfist. You see Transcendence come out from both sides here. Soon trying to land a rocket punch here, trying to make a difference with Doomfist. As Attack Visor comes in from AKM on the flank, he's able to pick up 2, opening up space for the rest of his teammates. They wipe the floor with Renegades. Is Mangachu the only one up? No HP. It'll be Rogue completing the map with 3 minutes and 57 seconds left in the time bank, setting a fantastic time.
Also, I did like that Doomfist switch at the end, because I think one of the parts that they were concerned about was the flank, and Doomfist was on protection duty. You saw him kind of hold back. He was waiting for anyone to just try it. Just try and get in their face, namely like a Tracer or something like that, to get in their face there. And they really wanted to be able to just keep their supports alive in that engagement. And of course, they get the crazy amount of damage that Doomfist puts out. So very well done by Rogue. They answer back. And now, as you mentioned, Matt, 3 minutes and 57 seconds in that push. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah, it was a fantastic first half from Rogue on offense. We'll see what they can do on the defensive end here. It looks like you'll have Unko running the Ana, and that's really going to be the only major change here from Rogue. So you'll see Nico switching to staying on the D.Va. I mean, I know ran Zarya in the first half, ran the D.Va as well. And then Renegades, obviously some time to make some different changes here on offense. But it looks like Mangachu will stick with the D.Va. Seems like he's going to be their consistent D.Va player.
I've had some.
Yeah, as he typically has been here. I think when they want to be able to switch out, try something different, they'll use the Zarya. Maybe he gets one of his more wonky picks, but I just don't see that really happening here on Numbani. Not with the way that this setup is. I mean, then again, though, you could run like a Pharah into that and like force him off, but I just don't know. Like, I wouldn't really advise that. It seems like they're comfortable here with this dive pick. And they're gonna have Zachary hanging out in the back, just trying to get some, just trying to build some ult as well. Let's see here what happens as the doors are gonna open. Renegades on the attack. Pressure's on.
Yeah, we'll see what route that Renegades decides to take. You see they get hit with a bionic grenade right off the rip there from Unko. Is going to back out. Well, Renegades on offense, they have multiple routes they could take, and it looks like they're going to go in the bottom left, maybe try and get this up top positioning. As no, they're going to go straight for the point. So Rogue went down the middle of the street, straight for the point, and not go up top. Looks like they're going to rely on Jesus to put some pressure here on AKM up top.
Yeah, and this is actually a really good play there by Jesus, because he saw the 76 all by his lonesome there and just smelled blood and went right after it. And now this is looking like the Renegades are going to be able to secure these kills and get the point. Very well done by them. One push was all it took. And the Renegades now starting to build up the meter. I like what I saw there from Renegades. They went for that left push. They were able to take out the 76 and really prevent him from being able to build up any kind of ultimate charge, and also just being a pain in the neck on the high ground as well. But here we go. Streets phase begins.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like AKM, when he was on that top bridge position, really had no idea that the flank was coming in from Jesus, and just gets taken out, allows Jesus to work his way back to the point. Jesus with a pulse bomb there. Looked like it landed there for a second. Actually does. It gets Nico very weak. Did not take him out, though. So you see the cart being advanced here by Renegades. Soon with the pulse bomb. See if he can land it onto Mangachu, maybe demech him. Then you see Rogue get a good push in.
You can also see this pressure from Rogue as well, X. I mean, they're taking the fight to them. It has felt like for Renegades, they've constantly been fighting out of the streets phase here, and Rogue has really not let up at all. Nico's not going to be in the best of positions here, because, and there you go, gets demech by Jesus. That's what you always have to be so nervous about as you're a low health diva. You know, when's that tracer going to pop up? And now Zachary with the attack visor. That is actually going to be a very smart use there of the beat, dropping it to keep the teammates alive on this engagement here. And soon, once again, I said it before, I'll say it again, you need someone to go in there and pick up those kills and sweep them off with a point. Soon's your man.
Well, soon, I mean, he goes in, he takes out Primo Dolce, so they lose. Renegades loses their Winston right away. Then you see the Transcendence comes in from Sherlocky. They also then go and invest Attack Visor into that. They invest Sound Barrier, try and push all the way in. Does not work out in their favor. They'll lead the way in here. Mangachu with a self-destruct. He'll get right back in his mech, but you see the pressure coming in from Rogue here. It will be Zachary, though, opening up the fight. Able to take out Colsey. A self-destruct comes in from Rogue, just trying to buy them some time, trying to buy him some space. We'll see if Jesus can make a play for any of the Rogue supports here, though, on the flank.
Jesus has certainly been a great tracer in this matchup thus far. And now the kills start to come in favor of Renegades in that engagement. But they did, you know, one thing I will say is they put a little bit into that fight with Primo Dulce using the Primal Rage. You know, they started it off with Mangachu on that self-destruct, as you had noted before, X. Key thing here, Rogue didn't use their Transcendence. I believe they went into that fight with Transcendence and opted not to use it.
Yeah, well, they may be able to use the Transcendence here to get a contest. As you see, they make their way over towards the cart. Pulsey leading the way. Now the Transcendence comes in here for Rogue. One coming out from the side of Renegades as well. It's a double pulse bomb there coming out from Jesus. And Renegades will also get the sound barrier in this fight as well, so they may use it here. You may not even need it, though. You see the kills going in favor of Renegades. They should be able to complete the second checkpoint.
Very well done.
And they will hold on to that sound barrier, and they will have the attack visor going into the next fight. So Renegades there, able to use that Transcendence, keep everybody alive, end up taking the second checkpoint. Now I know they're in a position to set a pretty good time as well.
It was smart of Unko to use the Transcendence to be able to stall out, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to calculate for those moments when a player like Jesus makes a clutch kill, takes out your Lucio, takes out your 76, gets that double, and really it's just very tough to play with. And they're going to use the sound barrier now to push forward here, force Rogue back out, as well as that attack visor, and really trying to just get this payload around the corner. And Jesus once again able to build up on that pulse bomb. He has been such a pain in the neck for them to deal with. They managed to take out both tanks as well, and this is looking great here for the Renegades so far. And Jesus, you gotta give the guy a ton of credit, because he has certainly been a pain in the neck for Rogue to have to deal with. They get the kills, and they're so close to the yellow box of victory.
Yeah, they use attack visor to clear out this front side of the street, and then they have Jesus go all the way on the left, so Rogue can't get back towards the point that that way. It'll be a sound barrier coming in from Rogue as they try and get back towards the payload. They'll have a switch from AKM over to the Doofus. The Transcendence comes out from Unko. Renegades, though, still holding on in the fight. You see a self-destruct coming in there from Nico. It'll be a Shawaki Transcendence keeping his teammates up, though. Primo Dolce getting right onto Nico there, demeching him. Gonna push him all the way back. You see, I believe it's Colsey getting on the point. He actually gets Pulse Bomb, but he pulls out the Primal Rage here, just trying to hang on. But this is definitely going in Renegade's favor.
And that self-destruct, had it taken out the Zenyatta, that certainly would have hurt them, but they're right there, and they're able to make it happen. But with 2 minutes and 35 seconds, so Rogue were able to do it better, but still 3 points. We're going back yet again. Reset and see how these teams play this one out. But you know what? Hey, that was a great Transcendence there. It looked like a panic Transcendence, but he knew that he had teammates in the small room avoiding the D.Va self-destruct, so he was able to Transcendence, save himself, and then push forward to assist his teammates. Just a good play all around.
Yeah, we see the Pulse Bomb from Jesus here. This really opened up the second checkpoint. And then when we got to the third, Zachary used the tac visor. I believe they use a sound barrier as well to get around the corner. Jesus putting a lot of pressure from the left-hand side. So it kind of pushes Rogue all the way back, towards their left spawn door where they're really not able to get out. And then once the tac visor and sound barrier wore off, you saw Mangachu launch his self-destruct. So it even bought them more space to be able to get around the corner, open things up to complete the map. We will see Rogue here on the defensive end. It does not look like any changes, from either side in terms of composition. I think it'll be interesting to see if Renegades goes with the same attack, whether they go through that bottom side straight to the point and then send Jesus up to the high ground. I think if you do see that, you'll see AKM be much more aware that that's coming into play.
Yeah, the thing that hurt him before as well was losing AKM early in that fight, and then everything kind of just fell apart from there. So here we go. Similar comps to what we saw before. Both teams really not trying to throw anything different at the opposition. Now let's see where Renegades are going to approach from. It seems like they're going to go for the same exact thing. Hey, if it worked out once before, why not go ahead and try it out again? But it's a smart thing this time is you have Soon to meet him there. And now it's going to be Soon versus Jesus. Can Jesus overcome? And it seems as if this fight will continue to rage on or we'll have to get to that later, because it seems as if Renegades were able to get 2 kills there on the tanks, on the D.Va, on the Winston, so you're losing the presence, and this is looking like another successful first push for Renegades.
Yeah, and you had a Soon in that same position on the first attack, but they were able to get him out of that. They had some tanks jump on him, force him all the way back around the corner, but Rogue still not out of this fight. They get the reinforcements off the spawn, but it'll be Jesus taking out Soon here finally. Soon did a nice job just staying on the point long enough for his teammates to get back into play, but 2 kills and a DMEC going in favor of Renegades. They have a sound barrier in case they need it here, but they have complete control here at Goldenboy. They will unlock the payload right at the beginning of this game. Now you're going to have 3 players from Rogue spawning far out. You're going to have, I believe, AKM Soon have to back all the way up, get with their teammates here. And you'll have some ults, in favor of Renegades here. You'll have both support ults. You'll have a Pulse Bomb and Tac Visor. We'll see if Jesus can pick somebody off with the Tac Visor at the beginning, but it's actually Primo Dolce able to take out Colsey before anything can even happen. So it looked like Colsey trying to make his way back towards his teammates. Was not able to get there.
Part of that came from the aggression, X, right? You saw it happen there. Because they didn't have much to get on the payload, they were able to send everyone forward and then catch them off guard off of the respawn. So that puts Rogue in an uncomfortable position here, because they're going to have to kind of respect the space that Renegades have been able to build up. And Jesus, if Jesus is able to get a 1 clip, that'd be great for him as well, but he'll also be able to get the benefits of the sound barrier. Drops the Pulse Bomb, takes out AKM, and I tell you, AKM has probably just been so annoyed by the pressure that Jesus has applied on him, and they're going to lose the supports as well as the tank. D.Va all by herself. Nico, I'm sorry, buddy, not going to happen today. And this is going to be Renegades really taking this fight incredibly well. Credit though to Soon for trying to delay that out, but you already have these players playing out so far ahead, and now we're going to go into overtime here, so the pressure's on for Renegades.
Yeah, it was perfectly timed support ult. So Jur drops the sound barrier as soon as it's about to wear off. Sherlocky comes in with the Transcendence, but it was Jesus able to take out AKM when AKM had the Tac Visor at the back of the fight. don't believe we saw from the first-person POV, but such an important kill there. And now it's going to be Rogue leading in with a self-destruct there. Nico's able to get one. Kolsti taking out Sherlocky. That's a big kill, getting rid of one of the supports at the beginning. Rogue trying to get back towards this point, trying to stop any more progress here from Renegades.
That is going to be all she wrote for Renegades' attack, but still, though, they played that one as well as they could, given the time that they had to work with. They applied the pressure when they needed to. When they capped it, they were in their face. They gave them considerable distance. They were able to get another point and add 5 on their side. But with almost 4 seconds on the attack here for Rogue, Rogue must be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, and I think for Renegades, you see Zachary, potentially running the Doomfist here. I was going to say maybe they try something like Oddball on Mangachu, right? Like maybe you see something like a Junkrat or Torbjorn here. Because like Sideshow was saying, you do see them, flex Mangachu off of to these like oddball kind of, I don't want to really say gimmicky picks, but it definitely like, look, I mean, you run something like a Junkrat here, right? You win the first push, it throws Rogue off guard, then they have to go back and change. It kind of throws a wrench in what they're trying to do. But it'll be Renegades, just having Zachary on the Doomfist. Mangachu will stay on the Diva. I know you'll have Sherlocky. He'll actually go for the Ana instead of the Zenyatta, which he's been running Rogue on the offensive side of things. Nothing too different. I mean, they're going to go with the same thing. It looks like they're committed to playing Nico on the Diva this week.
I think at this point, you just do what works. I mean, Renegades, yeah, sure. I mean, the good thing about Doomfist is, and I think what they're hoping for is to just be able to, isolate and punish anyone who gets a little bit too greedy. There's a lot of theory crafting here, especially with a guy like Mangachu on your team, what you're able to accomplish. But now, theory crafting is over. It's time to play as Rogue are on the push-up, and they're going right after that right side, which we've seen before, and they lose Zach. Oh, I almost thought they lost Zachary there, but the Biotic Nade comes in, and they finally are able to take him out here. Let's see now. As Renegades, they're going to have to protect each other above. You're going to have the Ana up there as well, and they're just trying to wait this one out because they're going to need a little bit more damage coming through. Can they take out AKM? Yes, and Jesus once again is going to be on AKM like white on rice. And who knows? This could be it. This could be the defensive hold that Renegades needed because everyone has been able to just accomplish so much on the first attack here. But now Renegades, they're looking pretty solid thus far. They're going to have to just tone it back for the time being, regroup, and then re-engage.
Yeah, you saw Rogue. They tried to go for that high ground, then they forced Renegades down onto the point, but Renegades stayed on that high ground, left Zachary all alone on the point, and Doomfist, when he doesn't have the tanks there to help him close the gap, there's nothing really he could do. He falls at the beginning of the fight, but they're able to hold on just long enough. Stall this out, and you will see a Transcendence come in from Unko, and now the push comes in from Rogue. Look at how far back around the corner they push Renegades here. Renegades gonna force back all the way up. AKM now with Attack Visor, Nico with a self-destruct. They use a Primal Rage here. Renegades in complete control of the point. They will unlock the payload. They still have a good amount of time here, Goldenboy. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock and a ton of ults to work with.
And look what they're doing. They're right in their face. They're pushing so far past second point here that they have to force out Mangachu because, again, you have so much time to work with if you're able to get the payload past those first couple corners there. This is so well done by Rogue, and Renegades know that they are just in a bad spot here. They have to get their way back into that payload and contest early on.
Well, if you're able to demech Mangachu there in that position, it's huge because then he's going to have to just kind of come back into the fight. Obviously, doesn't have the defense matrix and whatnot. It'll be a self-destruct leading the charge. Now a push coming in here for Renegades, because they have a ton of ults of their own. You see the nano boost come out there under Primo Dolce. It's going to be Jesus taken out too. Zachary with one more as they have pushed Rogue all the way back here. Rogue with no support ults in that fight. Big thing though for Renegades, all they invested was the nano boost there. They did not have to invest the sound barrier in terms of support ults. So you will have the sound barrier here for this next fight. Same with Rogue. They should have Nox getting the sound barrier shortly as well.
That is a good stop for Renegades. Is now the sound barrier drops out here for Rogue, but despite their best efforts, they're still getting pushed back. Where is Zachary? Zachary's still flying in the air here. Here he comes. He makes his way down. But Renegades, they're right on the point with them, and they're not letting them get much progress here. Taking out Mangachu could be big for them because you're going to lose out on a defense matrix. Pulse bombs dropped as well, but this is going to be all Rogue as they push this one, get those picks, and now they can take the payload. But kudos to Renegades to be able to get in their face and drain a lot of time on that clock.
Yeah, but it's huge in terms of Rogue is able to win that fight, and Unko gets the Transcendence halfway through it. So you do have the Primal Rage from Colsey. He can actually just kind of like batter the members of Renegades all the way back. Renegades, no support ults coming into this. Zachary going to switch off of the Doomfist to the Genji. Try and get back into the fight. They may get a nano boost here, but look to see the Primal Rage come out from Colsey, knock players back, and then the Transcendence come in as well. Here comes the Transcendence from Rogue, and they're going to pick up the kills.
They were able to get out the nano boost for Primo Dolce there just in the nick of time. One has to wonder, though, if it's really going to matter all that much. Soon dropped right on them there. And now just as much delay as they possibly can to put them into overtime and just give their teammates the opportunity to respawn. 0.8 meters left to being able to capture this, and they're delaying it as much as they can so that they can re-engage on the point. But now, will Rogue get in their face and not allow them that comfort? They switched over to the Reinhardt as well, and they're so close here. The yellow box of victory is right there. And there goes Jur for that miracle save, but can the Lucio stay alive? Sound barrier is going to be dropped as well, and now you have the tac visor for AKM, so anyone who tries to engage, they're not going to have the protection, and that's going to be it. Rogue will secure themselves a victory here, and we're tied 1-1.
They just had so many ults to work with there towards the end for Rogue. You had a sound barrier, self-destruct, and attack visor because of the changes that come in for Renegades. Now, they're not able to build up any ults there towards the end. I know you had Jur getting very close to a sound barrier, but that's about it. I mean, Zachary, maybe if the fight goes a little bit longer, a Dragon Blade, but you saw Rogue do a much better job in that game of protecting their supports. You know, Unko was able to build up that Transcendence a little bit more. Nico did a better job on the D.Va using the defense matrix to peel for those supports, which was really a thorn in Rogue's side, their week 1 matchup.
Good job from Rogue as they're able to secure 1 point there, but now we're all tied up, as I said before, and the Renegades, well, they were able to get that control victory. That's pretty big for them, a big confidence boost. And that one also went all the way down to the wire. So it just so much here to take away from him. I'm really curious to see what the Dust is going to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, you see Renegades playing much better than they did last week. I know Retzi played for them last week, a substitute. Now they bring back Jesus, who's a starter, into this lineup. It looks like their teamwork is much better this week as it was to last week. And I think Rogue, that first game, you're still getting used to, Nox on the Lucio and then Colsey, playing main tank for this lineup. So I think it was a little bit of an adjustment period in game 1. You saw them really hit their strides there in game number 2.
Now the question is, 1, where does Renegades decide to go for map 3? And also, how are they feeling, right, in this game? Because this is a Rogue roster that has come with it quite the legacy, quite the history in North America for their dominance, and Renegades are going toe-to-toe with them. So let's go ahead and send it over to the desk to break it all down. Puckett, over to you.